Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Growing Up Alien. And tonight, as you can see, it's kind of dark for most of us. We've been playing with the light for the past like half an hour, so it is what it is, right? This is so. We have a great guest this evening, Jay Skyrunner, who you may have seen on some of our lives. So it's great to have him with us tonight. So Jay is well known for his astral travel experiences, his out of body experiences. He also teaches and has a unique method for his Qi Gong and the healing that's associated with that. He's been involved with bilocation, and he's a Pleiadian and Arcturian contact. So it's great to have you on, Jay. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm
Well,
glad that we have a little chat.
yeah, I can. We always just kind of do these things very loosely, and I can lead it with you. What was the beginning of your experiences, in your childhood when you first started to understand that there were some things going on that were kind of rock and roll?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with me, the strange thing is I can only view my childhood in a third person point of view. Like I'm almost completely memory wiped from my childhood and from my teen years and my 20s. My 30s, I can remember because I remember what I was doing then. I weren't into this stuff anymore. I was just out playing in my rock band, touring all around and, partying and playing music. But I was still having out of bodies then, and our drummer was quite intuitive. So we talked about alien intervention and stuff too. Like this is going back to 2008, 9, right, where people were just kind of starting to talk about this.
Right, right.
And yeah, if I look back, it's like I'm trapped. My thoughts is like I'm only traveling back, watching a third person point of view to see my what I can remember of the childhood. Like like I don't remember anything, but I do remember things of as I do remember like being 5 or 6, and my mother was wondering why I kept drawing this. I used to draw this alien robot on the wall and talk to him. And
Mm.
I can't remember. It was an alien, but it looked like a robot, I guess. I had a name for it, but I can't remember now. But then when I was a little older, I remember one of my first out of bodies where I left my parents' house, shot out into our garden, and a wizard appeared there, and it was like a riddle. I still don't know. Maybe it just meant to be still and calm. He said to remember to be like the stone. That's what the wizard said to me.
Yeah.
It was weird, you know what I mean? That was my first one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I
Wow.
do remember, like, I used to work in the woods with my father and another guy, and I'd go out to the truck and go have a nap,
Mm.
and I'd wake up 4 hours later, stuck in sleep paralysis, like not being able to get out of my body.
Wow.
Then when I moved to the city, I was just taking jobs as security and stuff, and I'd fall asleep like in the chair, no one around, and I started shooting out of my body, right? Like in my early 20s. Sometimes I couldn't get back in, and I'm like, oh my God, I was just out for like 3 hours. And sometimes it feels like I'm only out of my body for 10 minutes, right? But must be more going on. Maybe I don't remember.
Well, you get the time phasing as well, so the time isn't the same.
Yeah.
You're not
Then they
when
were kind of fun,
go linear.
right?
When you move out of linear, you're moving out of linear time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they were I kind of enjoyed them. They were fun. I didn't like getting stuck in sleep paralysis. But then, fast forward to 2012, I was having a lot more. And that's well, 2011 is when I got into like becoming clairaudient and channeling in a book stuff that meant for now times that people are talking about now. And what I perceived it was Pleiadian, right? For some reason, I didn't know a lot about the alien races, but
Yeah.
Pleiadians kind of come to me, and I have an old channel that I can't access, and I got some of my channelings that I did on there, but
Oh,
I didn't know. Now I'm thinking back, like, was it really them or was it other beings pretending to be them? But my messages weren't. You know how the false light New Age come up. People were chanting the Pleiadians like, "Oh, dear one, soon, soon." And that
right,
was fake as
right.
shit, right?
Yeah,
I weren't getting those kind of messages. I was getting stuff that helped me, so I'm thinking they were legit, right? Like they were real
probably.
messages.
Because you're noticing that the information that they were giving you
Yeah,
ended up now becoming legit.
yeah. And they were kind of like I was saying earlier program on the show, like when my father passed away, I got into doing the qigong because I wanted to heal myself because I was drinking way too much,
Mhm.
and I ended up having lung problems, and I healed myself in 3 days before I went back to get a checkup after they said I had lung disease. And they said I had kidney disease, and I went back for my next checkup, and it was gone. Like I would quit it and get back to it. So I started going to those new age groups in my city. It was pretty cool because people were just starting to come together to talk about stuff, even though it was quite new agey.
Yeah.
And I did a session on a woman that orchestrated it, and she had to get her foot cut off. And I
Well,
just did one session on her. She went back to the doctor, and they said whatever was wrong with her foot was gone. They didn't have to take it off. So it blew me away
yeah.
because I just got into it to help myself, and I thought my father was crazy for being into it at the time, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, once I seen how good easy it was working, I just delved right into it because the qigong I do, I don't even want to call it qigong because even this stuff I studied, they called it qigong because it was a qigong master made his own version at the time.
Yeah.
People see it as like tai chi kind of thing where you got to do a long bunch of moves,
Mm.
but this is all
Yeah.
can just be done sitting in your chair. It's just visualization, hand movements
Hmm.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I made my own version up that I kind of channeled this, right? And when I first started, I have a book where I was making my healing modality. I started channeling this info in 2011 when I thought it was, Pleiadian stuff. But I was taken out of body and I went to somewhere in the Pleiades. I don't know which planet it was, but I could see other planets in the sky quite big and close,
Hmm.
like way different looking than Earth, right?
Mm.
And I was talking to which I would see was my family there, but
Mhm.
like I say, I can't remember what was said, right?
Right.
But when I come back, I kind of went into sleep paralysis. Then I went out again. I don't know if they were showing me different timelines, but they were saying what they wanted to show me was what they taught in Lemuria when the Pleiadians came to Lemuria. So
Oh, yes.
we were 12 strand beings, and they all knew the energy worked. And it was so simple. They called us. I think I asked you on a show. Rogul was the name they give me. They
Wow.
said
Okay.
when they first come to help the Lemurians because they were organic technology beings that were higher strand, right? And they were learning them how to, like how we're trying to learn to heal. But they were just showing me just moving my hands like this, just playing with energy kind of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was a simple kind of thing. Then I just kept getting more, and I was trying to piece it all together throughout the years, right? And I, then it switched over to a lot of Arcturian stuff.
Yeah.
Like I appeared on like these ain't dreams. Like I'm aware, right? Like
Right.
it's almost different than lucid dreaming as well.
Yeah.
But I ended up somewhere with two Arcturian beings. It was like a mother and father figure, and I hate being mind wiped, but they told me so much shit what's going to happen to us and how we're going to activate like the true meaning of our activations. And only thing I can recall from that, they said that when enough of us come together and because we're all like I was saying, remember, no meat and sacred. We all meet by choice. That we all were a soul family or somehow in the past or
Yeah.
other timelines. That when we all started coming together, we're automatically going to bring our soul shards back and our ancient remembering. And when that happens, when we know that we're activating together, just say I ran into you in the streets, like I might look at you and see your eyes glow blue. Then that was my cue to say, oh, she's activating. Or you might see it in me, and we're gonna start seeing other people. Then we're gonna activate to some of the I don't know if it's higher strand DNA power that we originally had that we're trying to get back to the original blueprint thing. That's the kind of messages I got from that one. But there was a
Yeah.
lot more, but for the life of me, I
Well,
can't
that's similar.
remember.
That's interesting because that's actually what Ika had mentioned. We were doing a podcast together, and he said something about that DNA is he says it's something like musical notes
Right? Yeah.
that you can like the way music plays. He says it's the same thing with DNA. So it has a frequency in it, and it basically plays like music written down. And you can change the frequency and the orchestration. He says that's how DNA works.
Right. That makes
Well,
sense.
you can change it for good or worse. Well, it depends. What's good or bad.
Yeah.
It all depends, right? If you want to enslave a race, then you're sort of creating a disharmony in DNA is what you're looking for. So it all depends
Mhm.
on what you're trying to do. Yes, like
Yeah. So the healing method, like the Pleiadian healing stuff, it's so weird. Like I don't want to sound like an asshole when other people on certain things, but I'll put it out there as not trying to be. And people are like, oh, you're wrong. You don't know what you're doing it wrong because the system says you have to do it this way. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, well,
But
I
the
mean
message is,
that's I don't you should who cares? I mean that's where we have to get is to
yeah,
understand what we know ourselves, and it doesn't you have to get out of that ego state and
mhm.
and become very you know really s solid in your own
Yeah.
way of doing something because everyone has their own
Well,
way, and
Yeah, well, that's like watching your shows. I like how you present your stuff, right? Because it's your experiences, right?
Yeah,
Like, I just don't like the fact that someone will study all the ancient texts and they're expert on the Anunnaki, then that's all they talk about and people flock to it. People, but that's not helping that person's everyday life by studying that or listening to this person.
it's
A lot
just
of people think of just watching shows or reading books, they're doing the work, but they
no,
ain't.
no.
And I'm not doing the work as I should. I'm trying to do it every day now. I'm put myself in this little challenge to see how I feel after a few months. That the message they Pleiadians are telling me that this body that we're in is
Mm,
the ultimate blueprint design of the soul.
mm.
Like we want to up, we of course we're regress, but we want to upgrade to be 12, 24, 48 or above strand. But they got super ultimate super DNA skin suit of the multiverse
Yeah,
because we can operate down here
yeah.
where a lot of other beings don't want to come into this realm.
Well, I can see why.
Our bodies were made to transcend this realm. They're kind of waiting for us to do it. They're helping us with giving us information, right? But that's what they donated. The way I'm seeing it is I don't care about any creation story, if it was Enki made
Yeah.
us or your archons or the God Bible or whatever. But I was seeing it as I guess this is a kind of they say this might be written out somewhere too, I don't know. But a bunch of beings, they donated their genetics to make us,
Yeah.
right? It was like an original it was an original experiment that weren't supposed to be bad. But our
Yeah.
23rd chromosome, our like everyone, I think everyone here's 23rd chromosome is Pleiadian.
Okay. Yeah.
And they don't want us like our bodies have the mechanics within it. Like people I hear a lot of people saying they can't astral travel, so I might put an astral travel course out because how I access it is for what I do every day, right?
Yeah.
Like our spleen ain't just an organ, it's a gateway to the astral world. So we want to have our spleen energy good, right?
Yeah.
And I always say too, like it only takes 5 minutes a day to do what I do. Like no, it's not a big elaborate course.
No.
Like if our heart energy is low, it can steal from our kidneys. Then our kidneys is a life force energy, right? And our body wattage runs down. Like when our body wattage is low, we don't have astral travel. We lose a psychic connection. We get cancer. We get, you know what I mean? We can get sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we want to psycho it. Like our body's kind of like say the kingdom of God, which I use that word God loosely, just say it so people know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when our system's out of whack, it's kind of like we're in disharmony, right? And it all goes crazy.
That's when things, yeah.
But we have the portals are within our own body.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
We have like it's what the message I channel one night is that we have the mechanics are built within us. In us, yeah. Because we're the on the other side, we're more real than we are here,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But here we're in the flesh, right? We're different, but we're the ultimate design template of the soul. But so we had the mechanics within us that we can operate.
Yeah.
So everyone's always looking outside from themselves, like we were talking about earlier on just different things, like looking outside. We've got to start working on ourselves,
Yeah.
but it's hard to do because we get lazy, right? But I think that more that even if it's just doing breath work in the morning or 5 minute breathing, not even a certain meditation, just breathe because that's meditation, right?
Yeah.
Get up and it just I think for me that's what's helping me because right now like I was away from this stuff for a while. I didn't have to make no videos last year.
Right.
Well, it's
Right.
just started again this last year. But once I got back into doing the work, it's it's kind of strange because I did a reading on Rob's show
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah. So I'm going to put some of the links when we do this just for folks watching them. And they know, of course, whenever I have a guest on that, all of your stuff, all of your shameless spam promotion, we will put in the
yeah,
descriptions. So then
like I don't do a lot of reading.
that's Rob. That's how we got connected was through Rob Khalil. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was on Rob's show 3 years ago. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but doing like all the astral travel and out of bodies and going to different timelines, right? And I kind of brought it back here with me.
Hmm.
So when I'm doing a reading for somebody, like I don't use cards or anything.
Hmm.
Because when I go to the void, like when I go to astral travel, I'll go to outside this construct altogether into no time, space time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like I brought it back here. So when I'm doing a reading for somebody, it's weird because I don't like doing readings because people think it's like I'm gonna tell them about the future, what's going on in their life. Like someone will hire a reader and say, "Oh man, that reader was so good. They just told me stuff about myself. He was right on the money." I'm like, "Well, I'd rather you just tell me about yourself. The path of least resistance, right? Instead of trying to guess about the person."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't do it because I did a read for a lady and it was really in depth about her being an architect in Atlantis, and she was pissed right off. She wanted to know when she was getting new love and new car. So I'm like, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, like
well, so I just started.
yeah.
So I started doing them again with people that are kind of looking for not that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm bringing the no time space time to me here, so it's like when I connect with someone's energy, it's like I'm operating 1 second in the future and 1 second in the past, and it kind of allows me to access the Akashic records in a sacred, neutral point of view.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That way, I find I can read them without judgment or belief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell people to take it with a grain of salt too. You know what I mean? Like, like
I mean, I think what happens is when if you do a reading like that for somebody who wants, say, a new car, right? When you tell them, oh, in 6 months from now you'll get a new car, they get that in their head and they actually begin to take steps towards creating. So they jump on that. So there's many possible
mm,
timelines
yeah,
between now and the 6 months. So they're doing the stuff. They're maneuvering themselves into position where that car appears.
yeah,
So they're just jumping the timeline. So it's they're sort of driving the timeline. And,
yeah.
and
Well,
that's
my thing is, I don't even,
thing too.
I don't really want to do readings. I want people to learn to do it for themselves.
Well, that's
I want
exactly
people to
that's
be their
exactly.
own be their own master. Like I'll do one for somebody, but then I want to tell them, start working on this yourself
Yeah,
and learn to be because we got to be our own spiritual gurus for ourselves, right?
absolutely. That
And
is
that's kind of like when you think of like angelic beings and stuff, like they're waiting for us because when I don't know if this is true. Like, what do you think? Are we under a frequency fence or some kind of a dome or something's keeping us in a construct?
I don't personally believe that. I think we're maintaining. This is what the many of the ETs told me. The human, not necessarily us, but we're fighting it. But the
Yeah,
what the Sith, right, are doing is they're allowing. So the Terrans are actually maintaining all this system. The beings on this planet are maintaining the system.
right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I had that kind of message come to me too.
Yeah, and then that's so the there's no freak. I mean, I've never been told of any. I just go with what I get told, and I've
Yeah.
never heard of any frequency fence. It's just that it's trying to. I guess but again, it's just words. So yes, you could
Mhm.
call it a frequency fence because the humans are holding themselves in a certain state of being action.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah. I guess.
So technically, yeah. I mean, if you told yourself that you can't leave this room right now, I mean, there would be an invisible fence there. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, that makes sense because I look at a lot of things too. I can't believe anything because it's just too much out there, right? Like
yeah,
some people are claiming flat Earth, ice wall, and we're under
that's
a
CIA.
pyramid.
Flat Earth was CIA. That's a known
Yeah.
CIA. Yeah.
Then people say, some people say we're in a simulation. We're not on Earth. But my thing is, I can't say what I think at all because I never went up there and seen for myself. You know what I mean? So I can't
Yeah.
say anything about it.
Yeah. I
But
only
when I go at it,
told, it's the same thing.
yeah,
It's what I'm told, and that's it. So, but
yeah,
a lot of it has to do with words because you're like, well, simulation. Well, um, is it it could be like a computer sim? Is it a computer simulation, like a matrix type thing? Or is it an illusion simulation? And
yeah, no,
this is what
yeah,
I told
yeah,
told because Nate Sizik, I mean, talk about simulation. I said, yeah, no, no, no. And so when he uses the word simulation, it's we finally found like a common understanding. It's like, yeah, the simulation is the illusion that the Terrans are creating. So if I
that makes
call this,
yeah,
suddenly we all start calling this a cantaloupe instead of a feather. That's a new simulation. Even calling it a feather is a simulation.
yeah,
So people are creating the simulation. We can
yeah, that
change
makes sense.
the
I understand that.
direction of the simulation at any time. So everything that you do in your daily life is an illusion on any planet, wherever you are.
And that
So
goes when you say the Terrans are causing that. That goes back to what we talked about earlier. Is
yeah,
how people are waiting for the Anunnaki come because they think they created us, or people think the Archons made us from a text from
right.
1945 they found. And the whole under the dome frequency fence, that can be another thing to make us believe that we are trapped when actually we're not because we're powerful beings, right?
Yeah, a lot of that's bullshit. It's
And I had experiences where they kind of showed me that as the other way, but I'm thinking they were hijacking my mind, putting
ah,
false overlays in me.
absolutely. Yeah.
I try to be really discerning with some of the stuff I get shown because I'm like, okay, that's weird because now next week it changed. Like, why was I shown that as some kind of a truth while I was in astral travel when it was? Because I know sometimes we're hijacked in astral travel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nathan talks about the astral straw man. That's funny he said that because I picked up something on that years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How they can. I think a lot of people are getting hijacked with false overlays too,
Yep.
and maybe not discerning it and calling it their absolute truth.
Yep.
I got to discern every information I get. Like I could have said something 2 years ago I thought was real. Now I'm like that was bullshit. You know what I mean? So
That's the thing. And the ETs are lied to too. The ETs, people, they're not gods, they're not magic, they're just people. The ones that are just the ones that are people, right? They're just people, and they're also under the same attacks that we're under. So they're
yeah,
also getting all this shit. So it is that's where we go back to what we were saying, which is like it all has to do with you have to stop looking outside and start going within and being like, hey, that feels like bullshit. I just had this experience. Hey, that feels like bullshit, right? That's the only way, because the people that are
yeah.
out there doing the spin doctor stuff, they're not necessarily bad people. They're not doing the discernment. Maybe, I don't know why. Maybe it's ego, maybe it's fear, who knows, whatever their thing is. Right? But they're being fed virtual realities,
Yeah.
and they're spouting it off because they're not deep diving into what's actually going on and who they're actually talking to. So
Another message I got too. This
I say
might
I
not
wanted
make
to
much
ask
sense.
you, when you
Oh
know
yeah,
it's fake, this is something a lot of people ask. Like, how do you know it's fake? Like it's a
I
virtual.
know.
Like what
How
what
do I know?
yeah,
Yeah, I would know.
it to
If
me
this is fake.
it just feels fake. It just feels I
Oh, I'll
weird.
get you now. Sorry,
Yeah.
I, I heard you the wrong way when you first started it. Well, well it does. If people didn't, you know what I mean, wake up like we're living in a crazy madhouse. Like this is something going on here.
Yeah.
But one of them, like this might tie into that a little bit. One of the messages I had received one time was like kind of like a vision in sleep. Because you know how we only perceive so much of the incoming light, right? That this could go to technically like, okay, say we said simulation and you said, how would you put it another way, but kind of like a lower, how we can meet in the middle, you said with eight, right? So if we look at it that way, illusion that we create,
Right.
if we can only see perceive the incoming light as there's beings out here that's around us all the time that we just don't know, right? But I'm picturing if we can activate ourselves, it's almost like we're gonna see everything just I call it like pixelate and come down so we see what
Mm,
I call base reality for what's always been here and what's really here.
right. Right.
If that makes sense, I don't know,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
absolutely. Yeah. No, that totally. Yeah.
that's a little off topic, I guess, but it all coincides together, right? Because we're
Oh,
getting a lot of ET contact that people are putting out there that's trying to make this piece all the parts of the puzzle back together, right? And the same thing too, like someone could. I see a lot of arguing in the disclosure community,
well, they
but
want that. That's kind of where we think
but
it's
the
gonna.
way I see it, if somebody has their truths as being in the Anunnaki times
Yeah.
and that resonates with them, they could have had one lifetime experience there that's the part of their soul shards that they remember. So that is a piece of their truth. Maybe it's not a piece of mine because I weren't there, so I can't call them wrong, right?
Right. Right.
Because we had so many different lifetimes and or timelines. I kind of see life. I almost see it like a computer screen with icons. You know what I mean?
Like,
We're here, but it's happening here at the same time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's wild. Yeah. No,
It's kind of
it is. I think well, like I said, I always feel like a lot of what's going on, it'll shift once I don't think so. I think this is, we were talking about that the other night. I think what they're trying to do is discredit all of us, but I don't think it's going to work this time
yeah.
because there's too many things have really shifted in the just the general public. So there's too many people like us that are coming forward out of nowhere. Finally,
Hmm.
like, okay, I think I can do this now without getting, in a nut asylum or something. And they're
Yeah.
able to, and they're going to start stepping forward because they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm sick of hearing all this shit, right?
Yeah.
I know my experiences. I know what I've been doing. And now I feel comfortable stepping out. And that's what you're
Yeah.
going to see is a massive tidal wave. And I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
talking, some will be military, but I'm not, what I mean? I'm not talking like propped up military fakers and all
Yeah.
that. I'm talking, some guys, some of the experiences could be military. So just being military doesn't make you a bad, no, it's just
No,
that,
no, I know what you mean.
the caricatures that are being pushed, right?
Yeah.
I just think they're going to be drowning in all of us coming forward, regular people saying, hey, this happened to me.
Yeah, no, that's why I started a thing on my show where I'm bringing regular people that don't do shows. I had a girl on in another one, and they just blew my mind. I'm like, man, like this stuff makes so much sense with me that you've been experiencing all your life, and you're just talking about it now, right? And this goes, we'll get back into the ET stuff a little bit, I guess, because
Yeah.
it's funny your contact was Ika, right?
It's him. Yeah.
Zika.
Yep. His name. Yeah.
It's weird that the last name, because the first Pleiadian name I got was Mishka.
Oh, it is all we have. Yeah. Different. Well, it's more like we just say Ika for ease of spelling, but it's more like Ika.
Yeah, but it was just weird because my name had the cat on it too. It was Mishka, right? So it was like a different being, but it was still a cat.
That's the language, right? It's to me, it sounds very like Navajo.
Yeah, and I have memories of being that character, being Mishka in the Pleiades,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like and I had one experience where I went to, I don't know nothing about the Emerald Order, but they called it the Emerald City. This place, the Emerald City,
Mhm.
and it was hidden because they were trying to stop. It was like in a hidden spot of the universe because they were trying to stop these other beings from going there. But it
Oh,
was kind of like, but it was like Alice in Wonderland. There was like it was like castles and jesters, and people were just like having a good time. And I appeared there as Mishka, and this other person come up to me. It was like very humanoid, looked like us, and said, "Oh, hey, Mishka, we haven't seen you around here in a long time." And I'm just kind of I was kind of aware as myself. I'm like, "What's going on here?" And it was like I had, like I always forget things, but I had like an hour of experience of being at that place before I woke up.
yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
And this is what people understand. I mean, we this idea, we're in the astral. The ETs, we're all the same. There's no we're all ETs, right? And so we're in the we go around in the astral. That's how
Yeah,
we that's how we go around. So you showing up there in the astral is real. So they're
yeah.
interacting with you as if you were really there because it's your consciousness. Like your body is just a placeholder. Once you leave the body, it's like Ika spends his day with me.
Yeah,
He basically bilocates. He's in two. He can be in two places at once. So,
yeah. I get that.
sometimes he'll be doing something where his consciousness is fully somewhere else, but we're in full connection, and I'll go to him. It's
Yeah,
harder for me. Like if I'm going to go to him, like his room or what he's doing, like I have to kind of like. It's harder for me to be in two places at once. Yeah.
yeah.
But
See, I can't get. No, I know what you mean. I wish I could do that. I can't get it when I want it. It's like I'll be laying in bed and all of a sudden a bunch of information just pops in my head. Boom! Like, oh, where'd that come from? But I gotta start journaling and writing it down. I don't because I'm always like, oh, remember, but I don't.
I don't either. I don't either.
But when I go, some of the astral travel, like out of bodies, I always say I'm like in my house or something, or I appear somewhere else, like on Earth plane. But some of the astral travels, I'm outside of here, and it's weird how I was shown this. Like, there's, it's almost like another Earth where
Mm.
all these beings are already there, and there's like portals that you can go to. Like, there's a there's a whole realm of where the fairies and elves are, but they can go through a portal and come out into a mountain here on Earth. But
Mm.
there's some warring going on over there. Like they created some nefarious beings. Like
Mm.
had something to do with angel blood and demon blood creating vampires, and like I was just showing all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that goes back to another thing. Like I don't talk about SSP a whole lot, but I remote, I bilocate and watch it from the third person point of view, different things going on.
Yeah.
But I went to one place where, well, it's weird. It was just I went to another life. It was just like real. It weren't like a weird dream. You know how you're
Mm.
completely aware in a dream.
Oh yeah.
I was I was at this house and I was after these bad guys, and this dog werewolf thing came in and attacked me, and I got the powers to fight it back. Then it turned into a man. Then I got sucked into some kind of an underground base, and they had that person in a chamber, right?
Oh.
And they had mermaids. They had mermaids in a chamber too, and that vampire broke out and they hit the alarm, and all these mermaids were freaking out, so they let them go out of the chamber back to the water because he wanted to get their blood. Like, why would I have like a great big 3 hour experience of that? You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird
Yeah.
thing to pick up on. Like, is it real or not? You know what I mean? That's my thing. Like, was that a program going on? Because it could be, right? Like,
Well, they could have you might have been in a program and that's what you saw.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's or you I mean, or you could have just accidentally, ended up there in the astral. I mean, you're astral traveling, you're bilocating, so you can pop in those places.
Yeah.
And then
Like what
a
like
lot of they can see you, and it's we have to
like
have
the one
protection
where
and stuff like that too when you enter some of those because it can be shit show. So it's like, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I told you this one in the chat, but I'm just gonna say it for people that's watching. It's because it was interesting. This was like a 4-time thing where I would go out of body and appear. I'm not even gonna call it an underground base, but it was underground.
okay.
Something. And I'll appear in this cave room where there's a humanoid about 7 feet tall,
Hmm.
gray skin, all black eyes, but he's human just like us. Like the features are like us, except for tall and black eyes. And he's wearing like just a cloth on him, right? That's all he got. And he has a bunch of surgical tools that he uses for torturing people
Oh.
in beds where they strap people down.
Yeah.
And I bilocated there because I weren't in a body. I was just like
Right.
walking around
Just walking
invisible.
around. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Somehow I knew I was invisible.
Yeah.
And the second time I went there, this being just stopped right up and looked right at me. Like he sensed that I was there but couldn't
Oh
see me
yeah.
and knew I was there.
Yeah.
And I kind of got scared, right? Then I ended up coming back to bed, like back into sleep paralysis. I used to get stuck in sleep paralysis for a while after. But that happened about 4 times. One time I left the gate and or left that room he was in, and there was a tunnel with gates on it with men, children, and women in them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then at the end of the tunnel, I went back. Like the fourth time I went back, I wanted to explore further, and there was a great big green tunnel coming out of the ground into an open area, and the military people were bringing people out tied up, and they were screaming and leaving them there. And this reptilian slash bear dog, we weren't an upright reptilian like a Draco, this creature would come out and eat them. Didn't go back into the tunnel. Like they were had to feed it
Oh
every
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And that's something else I viewed too, right? And I think I seen that like twice. So kind
Well,
of
that's
weird,
what they're doing.
interesting.
That's what they're doing in the dumps. And this is the thing. People have to understand there's like thousands of different ET races.
Mhm.
Thousands. So whenever
Yeah.
you're hearing these same stories of the same beings, the same look, the same that's bullshit. There's thousands of and this is what's
Oh
happening.
yeah.
This is how you know it's a CIA operation because when they're having certain people come forward and only tell very narrow stories of the same characters over and over again, that's part of their
Yeah.
psyop because they're not giving you the truth.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
what we're seeing, what all the people like, I think there's millions. What they're seeing is reality because they're like, and they doubt themselves because they're like, oh well, this famous ET contactee person never saw like that. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's only all of us together.
No, that's true. We can
Right.
talk about that
And
here in a
your
minute too.
experience is real. But you're seeing so many people, and that's what they're trying to do is create a guru situation, a religion situation. And
Yeah.
they're still doing it.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are being fooled, and a lot of people don't like to realize, like, hey, I was fooled. Hey, it's okay, we're all gullible, we all get fooled.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of people who just can't accept the fact that that happened, and
Yeah.
they're gonna go down with the ship, and that's fine. But really, it's just about us. This is so critical right now for people, as we've been saying, to believe in what they're having as experiences, to not compare their experiences to other people's experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we may
That.
corroborate an experience,
Yeah. That's why
and
I like doing these shows
yeah,
and
yeah,
talking and doing stuff. I have experiences, but I'm not very good at putting it in good terms. You know what I mean? Trying to speak about it properly. I was like, wow, what's going on here? But another thing, another one of the Pleiadian message I got. Like, I
yeah.
do automatic writing, like
Oh
automatic
yeah,
writing,
oh yeah, yeah.
and I just had to go with it, right? And say, okay, just do it. Like, because I'll stop myself. It won't work if I'm doubting it or whatever. But the Pleiadian message to me was that a lot of us will say that we're a star seed, right?
Yeah.
But basically, we're part of the same oversoul consciousness that's having an
Yeah.
experience as a Pleiadian or an Andromedan.
Yeah.
But basically, because our higher oversoul split off, we're all, like you said, we can be many.
Mhm.
So that the Pleiadian contact that we have, or we think we're Pleiadian, is because that Pleiadian is actually like our cosmic brother and sister.
Yeah,
Because, like, you know what I mean? Think of our oversoul as a mother-father figure
yeah,
that broke itself off. That, you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I
It's
actually got,
it's
I just
it's
got that.
us.
I just got that today, and the message I got was, why do you keep lowering yourself into the Pleiades? Like they want to know, like they're like, I don't know what, or just came into my head. It was like, why do you lower yourself? And it was just like, and I know it has to do with Ika. And today we just got super liberated, but I think that was part of the thing where I was lowering myself to incarnate in a Pleiadian body, which
Hmm.
to see, I think this is the thing we've got to stop looking at, this desire to be Arcturian, this desire to be like,
Yeah, yeah,
why? It's not a thing you aspire to. It's like it's just
yeah.
a physicality. It doesn't matter which one you happen to be in. And
Mm.
they were like, why do you keep, and I said, and I answered them, I said, I think I was lowering myself and incarnating in the Pleiades over and over again to help Ika to do what he just did, which was to
Hmm.
realize who he was so that he could then become the person that he was meant to be many
Yeah,
lifetimes. Of course, his all lifetimes were all looping, but it was just like that was the catalyst. Like
yeah,
I chose, it wasn't I had to, I chose to keep like stay in third grade. Or let's say we're, that's what it is, right? Let's just
yeah.
say we're both we both have master's degrees, right? But we have a master's degree, but we keep going to third grade. We keep
Hmm.
every fall comes and we go to third grade. And it's like,
Yeah.
why would we do that? And I think for many of us, that's we have a purpose in these different incarnations. But now I feel like for me, I think I've just real today was amazing. I'm in a great. I feel like liberated. I feel like chains were lifted. So
I
I
do too. Today was just a different day. Like, but
yeah,
yeah, like I'm not saying, like, I say starseed. Some people use the word maybe wrong a little bit, but we technically we can say we're starseed slash soul seeds, right? Because some of us might have had our last incarnation as a Pleiadian before we come here. And
yep.
some of us are getting messages from our soul family that's actually a part of us that's there, right?
Mhm.
Or from other places. Because we
Yep.
can have multiple. Like, I get Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromedan, and
Oh yeah.
Sirius, and Orion. You know what I mean? Stuff
Well,
coming to me all the
you're
time.
living you're living in a you're having a multitude of lifetimes right now.
Yeah.
So
And the Arcturian, one of the Arcturian messages I got, I just remembered it now, or it's coming to me new. I don't know how this works, but it's just like
I don't know
pops
how
in.
they just come in. I know. I
Is
know.
is like, okay, we got us here, then we got like the other star systems. They kind of agreed to come and be Arcturian and Palladian and Andromedan too, because they still have another level above that. Like outside of here in the Orion Wars, I was shown that there's no more warring. There's no more duality. Like we're in a illusion of a free will system, right? Out there, it's more or less all the more love, right? But down here, we're in our whole solar system. We're in a, I don't know what you would call it, but it's been going on for a long time,
I
right?
just call
And
it
I
Star
think,
Wars. We're
yeah,
living
Star
Star Wars.
Wars,
We're living Star
Star
Wars.
Wars, but Earth is the main goal.
Well,
Because
that's the Death Star, you know?
yeah, I don't know
So,
if this makes sense or not. It's like Earth is the womb chakra of our universe.
yeah, so Ika and I went back once and we spoke to an elder, a woman, and she's pretty much said that, and she said that basically Earth was going to be the thing that sort of cleanses. It's like a Pandora's box gets opened up.
Hmm.
And through the cathartic experience of Earth, this sort of wave is going to go across and erase basically all of the karma. I don't like to use the word karma because
Yeah, I know what you mean.
echoes. Let's just call it echoes of shit, right? So the Orion
Yeah,
Wars, all that shit, Lyran Wars. So it's going to erase that. It's almost like, and what she was trying to, I think, say was there's a reverberation, like a looping of all this trauma.
yeah.
And when we do this thing, and it's great, and it's amazing you mentioned that the earth was like the womb. It's like, yeah, that's what she said. And that was gonna clear the shit, basically, once and for all.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I
Information
hope
I'm
so.
picking up on. No, but yeah, it makes sense, right? But what else? Oh man, something come in. And I get stuff coming in and I lose it right quick. Like, man, I wish
Well,
I
that
could channel
happens.
my thoughts a little
Yeah,
better sometimes. It happens all the time, right? Like I'll get something I think, I'm like, man, now I can't remember what to say. It
I'm
just
glad
popped
you
in while you were saying that you triggered something in my memory. But
yes, and then you're like, what? Oh shit, Well, I'm glad you
yeah,
mentioned the childhood wipes because that's fairly common. Like I actually see my childhood in the third person too.
but
Like
it's
a
kind
different,
of disturbing
yeah.
in a sense.
It's like another. It's like somebody else's life. It's another. I did not live that life. It's like beep over here, and it's a lot of it's black. I don't remember
Me
huge,
too.
and that's common. You know.
Right now, like in the last little while, I felt like a different person again. Like I don't even want to go to my job. I'm like I don't belong there. You know
Oh,
what I mean? It's like
people are starting to feel that. Yeah, whether they're coming into who they really are and they're not living the persona because that's what the
mhm.
simulation is. Everybody's
Yeah.
choosing to be a persona. They're not being themselves. And they're afraid of not only other people, but they're afraid of themselves. They're afraid of who they are.
And another Pleiadian thing I picked up on. This
Hmm.
is pretty neat. They were showing me that they're not like flying down here in craft to come like see some of us, but they have some kind of a good quantum AI system
Yep.
that they can put their consciousness into and transport their consciousness here to talk to us so they don't get seen or captured or
Well,
something like that.
that's the shit show. I mean, because everything you say, they hear. Everything you
Yeah.
everything you think, they hear. Everything you dream, the bad guys hear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ike and I were just joking this morning about like the code because he has a crush on Linda Moulton Howe.
That's
Oh, he loves Linda Moulton Howe. You can't wait to meet Linda Moulton
cool.
Howe. And I said, wouldn't that be cute if you're her first ET experience? He's like, I want to be her first ET experience. So yeah, if she went to Santa Monica, maybe to a cafe or a park and of course he could find her. He'd know where she would be if she was there. He could come up to her and he said, yeah, the code would be like, are you disappointed?
Oh,
That's our code. Be like, he's like, are you just
one of the one of the craziest experiences I had as out of body was okay. It always usually starts I was in sleep paralysis.
Mhm.
Usually I'm scared to wake myself up because sometimes I go out of body, I'm think I'm dead, and I get scared and I come back really quick. Or else I get out and I'm stuck like this and I can't move.
Yeah.
And uh anyway, I shot right out of this. No, it showed me as a record player, right? And in the center was the whole the record, right? And I was out here and they were saying Earth Realm One, and I was going around the record and getting going into each line
Oh, okay.
until I went and it said I was going around all the different realms. Then when I got to 13, I went into the center. Then when I went into the center, I peered into void black space and I was nothing but see-through. Like I could see my arms, but
Wow.
everything was like see-through, right? Like how when you picture of I don't know. But then there was a being that come there and talked to me, and I can't really remember what it was
Huh.
or what they said. But it said it was like because people like say Archangel Michael way too much when it's not.
Right.
But this was like a what you would consider that type of being,
Yeah,
but it
that
had a
is.
staff, not a sword, but it was telling me information about that, right? But I think what I was trying to say is that once we go outside all the realms, we can kind of go to our I don't know if you want to call it crystalline body or whatever.
Right.
But when I come back to sleep paralysis, I thought I woke up and I sat up and I
Oh,
looked down and I was still that see through.
you were
And I'm
still
just going,
like
whoa, look at my
like you're
arms.
made
Like,
out of
oh, it's so
water, right?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is so cool. Then I kind of snapped out of it. But
Mm.
I think when I was out, okay, this happened. When I was out there, I went to this other place and it was showing a grid system in space.
Yep.
And there was a voice talking to me. I don't know what
Yep.
this was. It was voice was deep like this. And it was saying our goal was to be able to travel in the bodies that we have here, like focus on one point in the grid and just
Oh,
be able to instantly travel to another universe or
right.
planetary system and have an experience there without having to be born there. Like we should be able to travel and have experiences all over if we're outside of here.
Sure.
Just they showed me this grid. They called it the Book of Stars, and somehow we're supposed to be able to access that to pick up our Akashic starseed, whatever
Oh yeah.
information. And I did have experience on one of the planets, but where was I going with that? Yeah, like we're supposed to be able to just be able to travel and manifest the body at will to have experience at other places.
So take your consciousness out of the body you're in now and manifest another physical body.
Yeah, they were showing me that. Yeah.
The Kurendai people talk about that.
Oh, really?
When they come to Earth, because of the gravitational differences, and they don't look like us. So they manifest a Terran form
Right.
when they come here. So that's exactly what Bob Renault, and they would do the same for Bob. So when they would shoot Bob Renault to Corendor, they would then manifest a Corendai body for him to walk around in. That's
That's
exactly what
pretty
we
neat.
talk
And this goes alongside with
about.
I don't know if I went there on my own or I got abducted by Arcturians. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got pulled out of my body and it was like a big whoosh. And they did have a ship, right?
Mhm.
In their system. And my like astral body went into a blue chamber of light.
Hmm.
And when I went through that, I manifested a body for my soul to go into to have the experience on that Arcturian ship.
Oh, okay.
And I'm supposed to be able to remember the information I get to bring back, but that's far as I got with it, right? And it never happened again. But that was like one very real experience. Like I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah. Well, I think you just 100% verified what Bob Renault. You don't know Bob Renault and his work, but what you
no,
just experienced that he experienced. So,
yeah, it's interesting.
well, that to me is when it gets corroborated because it's like you don't know him. Obviously, he's dead. You don't know you. Well, you might in the other realm, but in reality, right? It's like so. That information is exactly what he experienced too. He experienced what you experienced.
A lot of this stuff, I don't. My things change. Like I'll have those kind of experiences. I don't get them for a while, and it switches to something else.
Hmm.
But around that time, I had the one where like I'll get going to other places. Next time it's just out of body here on Earth, right? Then
Right.
they'll go away. Then I'll ask to travel. But I had one experience where I was on in Lyra,
Oh yeah.
and we were all humanoid slash animal looking people. And people say lion and cats, but what I seen was like dog,
Mm-hmm.
fox,
Yep.
cat, raccoon,
Yep.
and I was with a group of people, and we were just like acting out, having fun in like a clubhouse. But our clubhouse was we were hiding out. We were a rebel group,
Oh.
right? And on but when we looked around Lyra, it wasn't like here, it wasn't warring or anything,
Mhm.
but a Draco ship would come in and everyone would scatter what they were doing because they seen that they were coming and said we better be good because they got laws upon us,
Right.
and they'd
Right.
just go back to doing what they were supposed to be doing. But the Dracos weren't like killing them or anything. They were just kind of coming in as a warring species and governing them then, right? But
Right.
I was part of this rebel group that we were going to try to fight back. But they caught me and they took me to like the commander of the ship and they put me in this chair and strapped me down. And this chair was supposed to extract memories from me.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. Yep.
And somehow, I don't know how I do this, but it was like I got powers again and I like broke my hands off the straps and fought my way out. Then
Yeah. Yeah.
I never had that was the only one I had of that, right? Then I had experiences where I was in Sirius A. And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
some people will talk about experiences and it's always like big in-depth meaning or something. My Sirius A experience was just retarded. There was a bunch of girls there and they were hot as hell and they had jewelry on their bodies and they were half naked and there was
Yeah.
like some kind of a saloon there and
Yeah.
there was weird birds called gabra birds. They just looked right weird. They looked kind of gross. They had big wings like a big fly kind of thing. Looked like a muppet, but they weren't bad, but they were just pests. They'd follow you around and just bug you, right? Because I was like, get out of here. Because I just wanted to go back and talk to those girls. And if I'm serious, hey.
Yeah.
But they had like a looked like they had diamonds in their forehead, right? Like but I don't know what the message was of that. It was just like and I went to that place like 5 times, like
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of the same spot. It's and I don't know much about the Orion Wars. I like listening to you guys talk about it because it helps me piece the parts together. But I did see a spot. I did have a memory of something about the Orion Wars, and it's funny that you were talking about Sith, and that goes along with Star Wars, and they were saying Jedi League, not Jedi Knight,
Right.
and we were guarding us, and there's something for a war over a Stargate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But this, like the Orion system's here, but the Stargate, I don't know, it was like down on the bottom of it to the right somewhere. But and that was a war over that Stargate, and that had something to do with Earth, but I don't know. That's all
Yeah.
I got on that one, and never had that experience again.
Well, that's it. It's the Cabal, ICC, Syndicate, whatever you want to call it. They're the Sith, right? And they're an
Yeah,
expansionist colonial group. They're made up of a bunch of different races, pirates, individuals, and their goal is to take over places. They're like England was back in the day, right? That's their goal. To gain power, to gain greed, goodies,
yeah.
that's their ultimate design. And once they get a hold of a planet, it's a shit show. And they kind of fly under the radar sometimes.
Hmm.
That's when nothing can be done, kind of stuff, and then but, I think enough is enough. And I think at some point, everybody's kind of realizing, hey, enough is enough. It's gotten to a point where it's so dangerous now that we're fucked. So we have to do something. So, and that's what people are seeing.
Hmm. See, I don't know what's going on and outside of that stuff either. I know we got that stuff going on, the Cabal, but then again, we got to get into like angelic beings. Like, what are they? I don't know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what
I mean,
I had an experience with an angelic being come to my body in sleep paralysis and heal me from lung problems, and it hurt like 'cause I was smoking a lot, right? And they were sucking the stuff out of my lungs with their hands, pulling it out like energy. And I could it was weird, it's gross. Like phlegm and stuff was being pulled out of me, and at the end of it, it was attached to my lungs, and they briefly hard till it snapped off, and it hurt. Like I physically felt pain.
oh
Then
yeah.
I woke up and I was better, right? Then to my mind, like, oh, they healed me, so I just keep smoking more until I got to the point where they did it again.
And
And
they
the
slap
last time it was like,
and they
the last time they were pissed off. They said you didn't learn. Like we're not gonna keep healing you. Like I don't know why they'd heal me anyway, but are they really angelic beings or what? You know what I mean? But that's how it appeared to me. I don't
Well,
want to say it
I think,
was because
the terms are, like I said, they're just terms. Like, how else would you describe them? Like angelic realm,
yeah.
It's, people can take what they want from that, but I think it's just a way to describe something so that everyone understands. That's the same way I do with Star Wars. It's like, it's just a way for people to, it's a quick way to get some understanding. But 100%, you can feel whatever happens. It's like Las Vegas. What happens in your astral body, you actually feel in your physical body.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
quantum entangled, obviously. Your astral body is entangled with the actual physical body. So whatever you
Mhm.
do in the astral, you can feel in your physical. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense too. If some of people getting marks on them and stuff.
Oh,
But one thing I get confused with, like I will have experiences where I'm in sleep paralysis and I feel like I'm getting my soul sucked out and go to other timelines where things are going on. I'm like, is that me leaving or is that my lab? Is that I don't know, right? I don't want to claim it is because I don't know, but that could be happening to me, and that's why some of the memory stuff is there. I don't know. You know what I mean?
yeah, the my labs are, you just know it. It just feels weird. It's creepers.
Yeah. Like I don't know if that's what it was, but I'm just sometimes I wonder, like, okay, why
Oh,
is this different experience happening,
yeah.
right?
You'll know. It's just, yeah. There hasn't been, I don't think they've really done much with the my labs. I mean, I think, it's hard for us to get real information because we don't have enough people
Yeah.
stepping forward, because then we'd have the information.
Mhm.
But, I think people, what I've noticed, this just from the evidence I have from the field research, right, is that people who are SSP MyLab are still getting MyLab because it's through the SSP.
Right.
The people
Yeah.
who were just MyLab, like mine stopped. Mine, it was just more, what happened to me was they wanted to shut me up. So it was more handler.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any, I haven't been in any actual my lab for decades, so.
Yeah. It
But
probably wasn't. It's probably I was just thinking that what because I don't even know what they are. Like
yeah, it's
I did have an
the
experience with I
SSP, the SSP people are still on. I mean,
yeah,
that's, but I was
because I
never
did have
SSP because they couldn't use me.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I was either. But I think I bilocated
Yeah,
and viewed some programs.
I'm not getting SSP on you either. No, no. You can usually, I
No, no.
don't think so. No, no.
Like I had people at SSP talk to me and
Yeah.
they said things that I remembered, but it weren't because I was there. It's like I same thing. I bilocated and viewed it. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you're coming in from that. Yeah. Yeah. That's, yeah. I'm
Like I'm
not,
watching over it, like looking in a crystal ball, saying, "Oh, I'm watching that program."
yes. Yes. That's, yeah.
And I think that's just from building astral travel to different realms, and you don't know where you're going to end up sometimes, right? You just viewing different things.
Yeah. I mean, you might want, have you ever asked like what your job is here? Like why what is your astral experience? Obviously, that's a main part of your work on this planet. You have to ask like, do you ever ask like why
Yeah,
am
no,
I here? Like,
but the any kind of get messages I'm getting from like other beings, like Pleiadians, Arcturians, is
yeah.
kind of my job is to try to, I don't know, it's more simple. It's not complex. You know what I mean? It's like
It's
let's just start working on ourselves, and we're powerful, and not let the programs keep us down. Whether it's ancient texts, and you know what I mean? Because there is, like, I hear so many people like they're just throwing that word archon around so much. Like, oh, you can't leave the archon, just recycle you to the machine and put you back on Earth. Like, well, no, because they're telling us that and make us think that, and then we feel like we're weak, worthless beings.
yeah.
But then you get the people that are like, I'm a starseed. I can't wait to leave this Earth. I'm never coming back here. I hate it. They're victimized in trauma.
Right.
They got to get over that. The reason they're here as a starseed because they chose to come here. You know what I mean? We all come with a mission. We still had to go through the losing the memory though, no matter what. Like we
Yeah.
didn't reincarnate. I think it was like something like we on one of the realms of the astral realm was like we could bypass reincarnation to incarnation, right? You know what I mean? Like we could be a Pleiadian Arcturian that joined the mission to come here, but then if we forget who we are and we wake up to it, we can almost play victim and trauma that we want to leave here and not come back, and we're not really doing our mission that we come here for.
Right, right. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. No, 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 no. I actually just realized today, like some of my trauma was Ika. It was his worry
Yeah,
that added a lot more to my trauma. And now that like he's liberated that, and now it's kind of like, ooh, we both feel a lot less, you know,
yeah.
pressed. So that was
Like
interesting.
like I felt that way before too. I'm not saying
That's
people
that.
shouldn't
Oh,
because
I
I
think
did,
that
right?
was the
But I think
day
there's more
experience.
to us than what we think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's for
Like
sure.
there's so many people, like even on Rob's show, you know what I mean? There's like, I just can't wait to get here. I'm never coming back. Like, no, you come here for a mission. Like
Yeah.
what I shown was one of my incarnations is some of us that passed away, we reincarnated right fast. We wanted to get back here because we didn't finish our mission.
Right.
So
Right.
we, you know what I mean? We shouldn't be saying here we want to leave and never come back because then we're copping out. We're aborting mission and saying I'm done. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I'm not coming
Even
back
though
to
it does.
Earth. After this, if they don't fix the problem now, I'm like, fuck. It's
Well, I think that
I
we
think
kind of have to somehow fix the problem. This is weird. Like, okay, I never did like mushrooms or anything for a long time, and I just started doing them not long ago.
oh
I didn't
yeah.
do none for about a month now, but I did like way too much one night,
Oh,
and my experiences were like insane. Like I just watched the realm around me in the kitchen just go to another whole place where beings were just here. There was a fairy that said she was my sister hiding behind my fridge, peeking out at me. Then I had then I had people like what you would think of from Mount Olympus with the white and the crowns on.
oh yeah,
They
yeah.
were talking, they were kind of laughing, saying it was kind of a game, like, you know, what they're putting me through because another lifetime this happened and that person did it to me. And then we go back to the other side where we're kind of laughing about it. It was just weird information I was getting, right? But there was way more than that. And I didn't want to come back to this reality because it was so freaking cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And and as it was wearing off, I could see myself just coming down, down, down until I forgot everything. Like I was like, no, I'm gonna lose it all, lose it all, lose it all. So anyway, I ate more and I went and laid down. This is where it got really weird. I kind of went into I went in sleep paralysis. I don't know what it was, but I was laying there fully conscious and I could see something, right? And I was shown a robot dragon, something like Transformers,
Oh, all right.
that's coming into our realm and has something to do with AI. This robot dragon is trying to pierce the veil to come into our realm, and the way I was seeing it because of being on mushrooms, I seen the head come through my wall, more through my wall, and it bit me in the shoulder.
Hmm.
And it gave me a bunch of information. And every time I did mushrooms after that, when they kicked in, I would get that feeling of when that dragon bit me in the shoulder. Because when it did, all my bones started cracking,
Wow. Oh,
and it's weird, right? So I don't know what that is. That might be shown like something from a completely different harmonic universe, like not from our. And when I research stuff, like no one talks about this, but it makes sense to some stuff that was out there with this AI. People think AI here, that's just surface level. That there's some kind of a consciousness from like the Phantom Matrix, right? That
right.
was destroying other universes. Now it's trying to get into here. I don't know, but that's kind of how I was seeing it. But it was almost like then I got thinking like I was picking up a lot of fallen angel stuff. I'm like, are they hiding that in Transformers, like that Rise of the Fallen? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I used to watch
at the
that.
same time,
Yeah.
I think that whatever you imagine is real because where's imagination come from? It has to be some kind of a memory for us to make it up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suspect that. I mean, yeah, sure, some imagination is imagination, but I think the majority of stuff, and certainly what the ancient people were talking about and indigenous people were talking about, and what kids talk about, I don't think it's imagination. I think they're seeing it. I think it's
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
You know, I don't know if
It's
it was
like
Val.
watching.
I think it was Val actually who mentioned something about the way, humans definitely overestimate what imagination actually is, because it's actually very, very, it's not imagination, it's actually experience. And I think the same can be said for some of the dream states where, yeah, there's just maybe some dream stuff, sure, yeah, that's for
There
sure.
is, yeah,
But some of the stuff isn't dream. It's literally it is the astral.
yeah. It's nice if we can keep memory of it, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember more. I gotta start writing it down. Like wait, because I'll get up, use the bathroom, and then I forget it that quick. But it's kind of like okay, when I was talking about doing the mushrooms that time, I kind of brought things back with me, which which I'm okay with. Like ever since then, like I didn't see any tonight, but I might. Yeah, like usually I'm just sitting here, I'll see like eyeballs, two eyes with long eyelashes, and they'll just appear, move around my room. Like I'm like, okay, who's watching me?
Wild. Yeah, I wonder what that, yeah, yeah. Are they like
But
humans or on the side, like an animal, or like more
no, it's like human, yeah.
face forward? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
But I think they're good, right? Because like it's weird when I'm doing shows with people, whether I'm just doing like those. Me and another girl we do these like free reading shows just for fun. It's almost like I get them to show up as for me to say don't say yes, like they're confirming to say yes, say the information that you just saw. Like sometimes I won't say it, then I'll see them appear, and I'm like, okay, they're telling me that. Yeah, go ahead and say it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say.
But
They're
it's interesting, right?
they're kind of like they
It's
say, yeah, we're watching you, and they're giving you information, or they're just giving you the go ahead, or they're warning. I mean, yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
and another thing that happens is okay. I was told that this was Pleiadian again, but like I say, I gotta see if it is or not. I will get a sharp pain in my neck, then an energetic humanoid shape with blue electricity spiraling around it appear beside me.
Hmm.
And it will stay there for like one day at work, it stayed there for 3 hours. No matter where I went, it was just right here, followed me right around. But it's like spiraling with energy. Like I don't know what that being's here for, or maybe it's helping me, sending me energy, or but the first time it happened, it felt like it pulled some kind of a like an etheric dagger out of my neck.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Or maybe something from the ether from each astrally put something on me because like, pissed off at me. And this
Well,
it
sure,
could be like
you're the
remember
enemy.
how I said
There's a lot of,
yeah.
there's a lot.
I'm just it makes sense that maybe remember I was saying that Pleiadians had some like put themselves here, not in the real body, like through the consciousness, some kind of a
Yeah,
computer to insert themselves. I'm wondering if that was one of those, right? So I was just seeing like the energetic body
yeah.
being here. But I don't get a lot of confirmation on this stuff, just experiences. I wish I could, but
Well, you don't, and I think that's just at some point you have to just kind of validate it for yourself. Be like, all right, I had this experience. Yeah, it was legit. It's just you're not going to be able
yeah.
to.
But it's weird when I do readings. Like I just don't want to sound like a complete weirdo, but
Right.
I don't know, I'm scared to say stuff too, right? I'm like, oh man, like where's this coming from? Like I was saying, like operating 1 second in the future, 1 second in the past. So I'm in no time, space time to pick up information. But there was the information I was getting is a lot of it is not here. They're like Akashic records of like we can access Akashic records of thousands of other planets, right? To bring back to ourselves. And usually it's only what we may have a part of ourselves from another timeline that's more important that predates
Oh
some
yeah.
area, right? So they might want to give us that instead of something more recent that's more connected to our or the person's last soul code memory or kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah. But again, you don't even know when that was.
Yeah, I know.
When, these things, because there's no the winds are like there's no wind anymore once you escape linear time.
Yeah.
And
I don't
that's
like saying past
reality.
lives either.
Yes,
I like saying I, I think everything's still I don't know, everything's still kind of going on. We've got still got little timelines over here of it still acting out, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. But
yeah. It's
still
hard to
could be
like make sense of it.
it is hard to make sense. My mind's don't just
No,
stop
no,
going all the time
you're
now. So
right, right. I mean, it's just hard to just like
I'm gonna
understand.
shut it. I gotta shut it off sometimes. Say, okay, it's okay to not be there right now. Just go
Yeah,
make supper and walk down the road and talk to people.
the chop wood, carry water. Yeah, that's when I find that that's where I'm at the most peace. Just enjoy. That's the thing. I don't know if enjoying, but I mean, just being in the moment, being in the physical time, doing
But
something,
with it,
whatever you enjoy. That's yeah.
mhm.
It's
But
just
with it,
like exist. I mean, surviving. It's like yeah,
yeah, it can be anything. Like energy healing can just be whether you do qigong yoga or some like my friend of mine. His energy healing is going mountain biking because it's something he loves to do. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's we don't have to. I think some things get overcomplicated a little bit. Like
Oh yeah.
I took the Matrix energetic course and I just said, okay, that's just I had to put it away. I said I can't go through that. That's too much theory and scientific crap that don't need to be there.
Yeah. To me, that's just
There
irritating.
was one part I took a piece of it because I did like one part of it that was like the most simple thing that worked. So I said, okay, just gonna take out of the whole book. I'm gonna take that 2 sentence line, right? But that was an important part, just that 2 sentence line. That's all the book had to be, really. But
Oh yeah.
I think it's important. I think it's important for us to connect to like the elements of Earth and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the more that's how I started accessing information more was when I started doing the elements, like working with you know Earth, wind, water, fire, and ether.
Yeah.
Or in Qigong, there's another version I work with wood. Because I find that when you work with water, because the water element stores consciousness and programmable, we can kind of access more information through that. And with the fire sounds really good with me because when I was trying to make my own version of the fire element, I was just automatic writing it. It was like the fire element is trying to connect us more back to source, bringing source codes and ancient remembering the flame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was dragons or not, but I'm getting a lot of dragon stuff lately. It's just I don't know why because I never did in the past, right? But
Yeah, I don't mean a little bit here and there. I've never, every once in a while, I have like protection dragons, but yeah, no, but people are there's a level, a very ancient,
yeah,
wise. A lot of people are tapping into the dragon stuff, and that's cool. That's their what everybody's different. It's like so whatever your family line, whatever things that are interacting with you, yeah, that's. I only use them
and I
for
think
I use it for protection when there's.
I think we were all parts of everything, right? Because I think at one
Yeah.
point every being was here at one time.
Well, that's supposedly what source is. That's what a lot of the religions upstairs talk about is that, source is we are all we are all connected.
Yeah, it's hard to piece things together. Like I'll watch people's talks; they contradict themselves. I'm trying to learn from them, and like they just contradicted that really bad because they're going on about archons and stuff. Then in the same time, they're coming back saying going back to religious texts and saying God, and I'm like, well, if they're going by the archons, isn't the text saying that the God of the Bible was the demiurge? So they're kind of contradicting themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes what I get from that is kind of sort of a pseudo academic discourse, basically, where they're trying to create content, and they're like forcing a
Yeah.
stream. And it's curious. It has its purpose. It's a sort of a ether based theological like
See, I looked into the archons a lot after I did have entities come to me as archonic beings and had a body.
yeah.
And so I looked it up a lot and I can't make no sense out of it. Like I'm not gonna believe ancient texts. Like I'll watch some of the Gnostics, I'm like, that's just like crazy. You know what I mean? But even I think one of the last things I picked up on was I don't think there is archons as what they say. I wish when I go back to ancient and Lemuria timelines, I'm seeing as
Yeah.
they were calling them archons then because it just means lord or ruler. And within the wars between Atlantis and Lemuria, there was these rulers, and that was basically you could say archons because they were the rulers, but they were highly advanced, and somehow they used AI to become powerful in the afterlife. But it kept the war. I think I'm seeing like the war between I don't know if it was a war, but I'm seeing a war between Lemuria and Atlantis
It was.
still going on, and they caused timeline wars. Like
They
they were
did.
the cause
Well,
of
I mean,
the
well,
cause of
they're
timeline
fighting.
wars.
It is. This war is fought in time.
Yeah, like I was showing like Lemurian air cities. They're just a little bit out of phase of us, but sometimes people will see something like City in the Sky because I think they're matching the frequency a little bit.
Wow. Well, there's
I
different.
don't know much about I don't know much about Lemurian Atlantis. As like I say, I try not to read books on it because I don't want to cloud my
Well, that's what
information.
happens. You have
Right?
to read that. That's why the worst thing you can do is start.
I used to when I got into this. I read everything going, and then I was so confused. I said, just put it all away. I said, I'm just gonna go with my experiences for now. And I like watching shows because you could say something that I wouldn't have ever thought of, but it resonates so good. So I learned something. Right?
And that's I think that's what I do, and that's
Like
it's
I'd rather talk to you and learn something from you tonight. Talk to someone else, learn something from them, than going
that's
by a text that everybody's reading and calling it their truth. Right? So
it's bits
just
and even people that you like are CIA operatives. That doesn't mean that they're going to tell you some wrong information. A lot of what they tell you is still correct. So you'll hear
yeah,
something and be like, "Oh, that resonated." It's like there you go. So it isn't this whole situation is just not black and white. It's a lot of layers, and that's where that's just from my perspective on it.
yeah. I don't know
People,
if I said this on the show before we talked about how people like to argue about stuff. I
yeah,
might have said it. I don't know if I said it in live or not, but remember I was saying someone could be totally Anunnaki
yeah.
stuff, and someone else could be totally something else, and they argue and fight back and forth. So, no, it's true. This is true. That ain't true. But yeah, I don't know if I talked about it in the show. I don't want to repeat myself. But someone can have their last memory soul code be from that one, right? They had a strong soul family lineage in the Anunnaki times, and someone else could have been before that or after that, Atlantis. So that's their truth. Doesn't mean one's right or wrong, but they should be working together on it, saying, okay, we're it's totally two different experiences that we had. Instead of fighting over it, we can
Yeah. Or just agree
try
to,
to piece it
yeah,
together.
just agree to disagree because you have two different perspectives. So it doesn't mean that one is right or one is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just express the different perspectives and walk away, yeah, well, that's part of what they try to do is foment the divisions. That's how
Like I
they
can't call anyone
maintain
wrong.
the simulation.
Like I would never call anyone wrong, and I can't because I didn't have their experience, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think a lot of us were in everything. Some of us might have bypassed some stuff. You know what I mean? We might not have come here back for certain. We maybe spent
Yeah.
time in other places before we come back on a different
Yeah.
level. Like some of them, I think a lot of us were here in Lemuria and Atlantis. And I think that was more Pleiadian and Arcturian stuff going on then.
Yes.
But
I
the other
was
information I pick on that is completely off the wall. What people say, I was seeing like what they would have called Anunnaki was here then too at the same time.
well, there's
I don't
many
know what's the difference. What?
there's many Anunnaki. There isn't just, one.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
there's
I'm glad you said that because yeah, like Anunnaki can be Pleiadian, couldn't it? Because didn't that just mean those that come from the sky?
yeah,
Like
but it's like there's
they
a
don't really
race.
say
So the term Anunnaki is actually an Earth race. That's an Earth term. That's what the Sumerians called
yeah,
the they're they were called the colonial Anunnaki, but there are different humanoid Anunnaki that are around. That they're not a a cloned race or a hive race. They're individuals. So yeah, I from the Anunnaki that I've known of, like I haven't really met any person, a lot of them just don't want to get involved.
yeah,
They weren't
because
part of all that colonial. So, it's the same thing. It's like on Earth, right? You got um any group of Earth humans. So some people don't want to get involved with being a jerk, right? Some people want to be like, oh, I
yeah,
want to bring love and just hang out and have a good time. And other people want to be like greedy. So it's the same thing. It's the individual. It's just like the hell, right? Not all of them are nice. Some of them
yeah.
are,
See, I got right.
you
I
know,
know. I got right into the Anunnaki stuff for a while too, but then I'm like, okay, this is really taking me off my path because everyone was fighting over who's a good guy, Inky or Enlil. So I'm like, okay, I had enough of that. I don't care because I don't better my life put my information and thinking on that, right? But
Yes.
okay, but I did have one experience with what they said was an Anunnaki experience I had. Like another time I went out of body, I appeared on a what they said was an Anunnaki scout ship,
Yep. Yeah.
and I was on the ship, right, and my family was there, my wife and kids too. Like I don't know why they were there because I was out of body, went there,
Well,
but they were they were showing me of meteors hitting the Earth and destroying it, and they told me that was a possible timeline that's not going to happen no more. So I don't know why I was shown that. That's just that was the only experience I had with what they would beings that said that it was Anunnaki, right?
yeah.
But to me, it was good. They were good. It was just
Oh
they were
yeah.
showing me that was a timeline that they tried to play out, like whatever's going on in this war, right? Ryan Wars or whatever. They tried to play that timeline out, but it got stopped. And they were just showing me that's a timeline that would have happened.
Yeah.
And the strangest experience I had is I'll go to body and appear back home, like an hour away at my mother's dooryard, and these craft come here, and I can't tell you what they look like. I can barely even picture it in my mind,
Oh,
but they were making noises like the Transformers when they transform, and they were shifting and shape shifting and moving. They were craft, but they weren't what we would think of what we see as alien ships on TV.
right.
And the message I got from that was that everything that's going on here now is within this dimension, right? Like of all the planets, it's all 3D. Well, I don't know if it's 3D or not, but whatever we're in, that if real fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional crafts come here, we're not going to be able to grasp what it is to our eyes to look at. So we're just going to see something that we've never seen before. And that's why I can't explain it to you. Like I see it when I'm there, but I can't even picture what they were showing me. What when they come in, it's interdimensional and it's something outside of our dimensional view of how we would see something. And it was very freaky. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know if there's anything to it,
I've
but
had videos of craft that I call them the weird ones. I'm like, that's a weird one. Because, and I have them I have them here on the shorts, and some look like regular. You can see the craft, it's the warp and everything, but some are
yeah.
really weird, and they tend to be like, but
Mhm.
when you videotape them, they're like they're almost see-through amorphic, and I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, and I just every once in a while, I haven't seen one recently, but we've had a lot of clouds, so but those are very unique. So that would make, I mean, that's the the dimensions for sure. Maybe there's
Yeah.
seven dimensional, and that's how it's gonna appear to us, or even to our
Yeah.
devices.
And that
It
and
makes sense.
those
It makes sense.
and those like kind of dream vision things that's been going on for like 10 years that I've been seeing that. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking there must be something to it, right? But there's good and bad guys, and they're fighting in our skies, is what I'm watching, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm almost like running and scared, like thinking they're gonna crash on me, and they're like they just float. They're not flying. Like they can just come and float right here, stop above your house, and shape shift and turn around and
Hmm.
shoot some kind of a laser at the ship over there. And but
That's
it's just neat that I went to that spot so many times, right? And I don't know if Nibiru is a psyops or not, or else, but I
yeah.
was I was at my sister's one time and I fell asleep on the couch and I went out of body. And I said, I'm gonna go outside. Like, because like sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm out of body. I'm gonna try something different.
Yeah.
So I went outside and I looked up, and what was up in the sky was Nibiru on that astral plane. Like we're in the Earth, but the astral plane of Earth, but Nibiru was there on the astral plane. And people are going, oh, but people that was there, I didn't know them, but they were like looking at me like I should have known what it was. Like, oh no, that's Nibiru. So when I come back, I'm like, are they showing me that Nibiru is actually here on the astral plane or what? You know what I mean?
It's
Like
it's
maybe it weren't coming back here; it was going to be there. I don't know.
it could be, it's hard. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Or it could have been a hijacked astral travel too, right? Just putting things in my mind that were
that's, you just
making me
go
see
by
things
what
that weren't there.
because in warp the ships can move between planes, so
Yeah,
it's just hard.
it's all interesting stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It,
Well, I think
when I was still,
we'll call it for. I usually only do videos for a certain amount of time because folks.
oh no, that's good. We get going. I don't realize time went by that fast.
That's we all know how it, it's good for viewing, so you don't feel like you're. We all get backed up on stuff we have to watch. And I was trying to keep it about, a certain amount of time so folks can
Yeah.
enjoy
I'm sorry if I talk too
and
much.
yeah. So, well, I want to
I
thank,
get,
yeah, thanks so much for coming on. That was awesome. And
oh, thanks for
looking
having me.
forward
This is
to,
good. It was easy for me to talk with you. Like, it made it a good show because I get nervous for I go on. Like, I don't even, like, literally, I was literally sitting here saying, my mind is blank. I'm like, I don't even know what to talk about. I don't even remember anything. But, when you can get the conversations flowing, it goes pretty good, I guess.
yeah. Oh, I have great
So thank you.
great
So thank you very
conversation
much.
off video. Then when you get on video, he's like, can't see. He's like, I'm like,
And you helped me
what it
piece
is.
some parts. You helped me piece some parts of my stuff. A couple things you mentioned. Okay, that makes sense now. So now I can kind of piece together some of my things by some of the things that you mentioned. So
I
I'm
mean,
glad that we got to talk. I
yeah.
wanted to talk to you anyway. 'Cause I like your talks anyway. So
Well, that like exactly. I mean, the more people you talk to, the more like you're like, oh wow, all the pieces start to fall together.
yeah.
The more regular people you talk to, all the pieces fall together.
See, I seen you on Rob's show a long time ago, and I don't know why it didn't click
Oh
then. But
God,
then I went to your channel and I just started watching a couple things, and then about 5 minutes in, I'm like, "Bong." It's like I got all this connection right to you. And I'm like,
absolutely. Oh,
okay,
oh yeah.
I was like, I gotta talk to her like right now. Right. Yeah, sorry, I'll shut up now so we can get
No,
going.
no, no. All of our viewers be like, oh, they say they're gonna stop, but they're still talking. No, that's
Yeah,
fun.
I know.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was always looking forward to chatting, and you're on our Facebook group,
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
that's where we all hang out and share ideas and kind of put pieces together. The more
That's
people
an
that
awesome
we
group.
have, the more sense I think we can make out of this. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
the goal
definitely.
is to make sense out of this and to fix whatever we have to fix and do our job and whatever.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
that's our role here. So
it
yeah.
is.
So thank you so much for the work that you're doing here. And
And thank you
it
for
was
bringing me on.
as always, we always say in the words of Frank Chili. I used to never know what he was talking about when he would say this, but now I do. And I always say, we'll see you upstairs.
Okay, see you later.